Saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the folks in the many time frames, time zones around the world. It's another fantastic Friday in the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. It's Friday, the 11th day of August, and you're logged on to another episode of Voices here at WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial. My name is Socrates, host of today's program, and we're going to go downtown first and give Caesar his due, and then we return and get into today's program. We have some very special guests doing a bit later on. So in the meantime, we'll have a little chit-chat before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's presentation. What about now? We go downtown and we give Caesar what is due to Caesar. We will be right back.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop www.shoptdcgroup.com.
And we're back once again, top of the morning to you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. It's another chance to get in touch with the Federation if you're up there in the diaspora. See what's happening in, downtown St. Kitts Nevis. And I can tell you, weather-wise, we're pretty okay down there. We had some rains. I think the farmers will be happy with the amount of rain. Some guys said they don't want it to be too much, but I say to them, no rain, no food. So to our police officers, those in security, those in transportation, it's another fantastic weekend. We would like to know, come Monday morning, we don't have any reports of any incidents or accidents. Take our passengers back and forth safely. We want, you provide quite the service. And for those who want to go out and party on the weekend, we say party hardy, but don't drink and drive. Remember that. The life that you save may very well be your own. And we're going to do some chit-chatting. I'm going to open the lines a bit earlier because we have some special guests due in at about 11:30. In the meantime, I want to put out a bulletin for a Simba the Poet. We're asking that you get in touch with this number. You call this number 662-3944. I believe it's in relation to the upcoming emancipation program up at the Fortress, due on the 20th of this month. This person is also known as Lasimba Wilkes. If I'm correct, you're asked to get in touch with the folks at the who are organizing the program. The number is 662-3944, and that's for Simba the Poet. That's one missive. Now, I have a bit of a sad news to share with our listeners. over the past months, I dare say, we had some, we have a program is ongoing where we were collecting wheelchairs and strollers or walkers and, adult diapers to give to persons in the Federation who I need. Miss Rosemary Donald up in New York has been instrumental in getting these items to be shipped to the Federation. We've had the Department of Gender Affairs and, foreign thing who were able to assist. And we thank you very much for that. One of the persons who would call in, and especially at a time when we were trying to raise funds for the shipment of one of these, packages, was a lady who said to me, I think it was off ear, that she is a pensioner. That was the conversation. And we don't make a lot of money, but I am willing to contribute to this effort. And indeed, she contributed $100, which of course was very welcome and was able to assist with getting the packages to the folks who most needed them. She will call from time to time and speak about the importance of sharing and, helping the process. Sadly, yesterday I received a call from her daughter to inform me that she had passed on Sunday morning. We're speaking about Miss Rosina Warner from the Bay. If anybody recall the name, she would call, she would support. Not only verbally, but financially, she made her contribution. And I was really hit hard yesterday when her daughter called me to explain that my mom had passed. And what can be done with the items she have to assist others. So we from the studios of Win FM and from the love circle of those who were part of the program, who are still part of the program, we extend our deepest condolences to her family. May she remain in her memory. May her soul rest in eternal peace. I'm still dealing with it. We know death is inevitable, but when it hits you from someone, because I went down there upon receiving the last package, I delivered some items to, and very, very grateful. But the fact is, she was not only a person who were waiting to receive. She actually made a contribution from a point where she was among the many who didn't have a lot, but the little that she had, she gladly shared to the comfort and benefit of others. So to the family of Miss Rosina Warner, once again, we extend our condolences. And I think we're going to get some updated information as to her process, her going home ceremony. So for those who would remember her voice, very strong, very clear, very supportive. It has been silenced, but the intentions and the contribution that she would have made to this program has been very well received, and we thank her for it. It's just about 9 minutes past 11 o'clock, and the lines are open for those who want to call in and maybe share condolences or speak about any topic. From 11:30, I'm going to have some special guests in on the program today. All right? So the lines are open, 662-0989. 466-0989, 762-0989. Good morning to Culture. Good morning to Rosemary. Good morning to Bridges. Good morning to Dr. Mervyn Leader, Dr. Sweeney, all the folks out there in the diaspora who stay tuned with the Federation, keeping a pulse on what's happening here. At the moment, there's an ongoing taxi refreshing course down at the corner building. That's should conclude today about 1:15. We started late this morning. There are three presenters. Dr. Len, it's not quite his doctors yet. Leonard Stapleton, one of the presenters, and there's a lady from the CTO who's making presentation. A refresher course. I was one of the presenters. I had occasion to say to some of the guys this morning, if you're a person who claims that you know everything, this is not for you. There are some people who know everything, and they're not willing to learn, but there's also a school of thought that says you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn, and I am of that discipline. So we live, we learn, and we continually build our knowledge base as we work in this industry. It's a refresher course, There's one other due for October. And whether we think so or not, we all do need to refresh and, enhance our skill sets. So from Rosemary, sorry to hear about Rosina, actually, Warner. So Rosemary's logged on. Let's see what Chris Collins has to say. Okay, boy, you need a medal for the... And Rosemary has... Let me see what Chris Collins says. Boy, you need a medal for the work you and Rosemary has done. You are the simple man who has... Fella, be careful, I don't want him to deport me. I don't want to get deported. But thanks for your support and the encouragement. Good friend Chris, I call him the ambassador, Chris Collins. I know he's done wonders in promoting our federation. And, of course, we have the CPL. So we'll talk about that in a minute. We have a call on the line. Good day, caller. You're first live on Voices.
I got to be live. As long as you're around, I have to be alive.
I appreciate that. I'm not going to ask about the Dow and the pigeon, so just do your thing. Welcome to the program.
Yes, I am Dow and Chris is the pigeon.
What about Chukai?
Well, Chukai is the man coping to eat the egg them.
I see. Talk to
and
me. What's up?
you're the owner.
Well, we're here. It's Friday. It's another weekend. We know lots of stuff happening weekend. We are celebrating the fact that we survived from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Payday for a lot of people. And so we're in that mood. I would admonish, and it's not my business, a lot of your fathers who collect your pay packets and head to the various bars and spend them by a round, make sure you put something aside for your children first.
Yeah. Well, let me start with this here. Not only cyclists must wear a helmet, but you, like how you're so tall, your height is a special height.
I see.
I believe you were born in Barbuda.
No. Well, you had the Igbo over in Barbuda. I am Mandingo. Well, I put the man in Mandingo, but that's a different story.
Okay, well, I would advise you to wear a helmet before you get a cut head.
I do. I shave clean, so there you go. Talk to me.
Okay, my condolences to Miss Warner in Deer Bay.
Yes, Rosina Warner.
Yeah, I did heard her voice when she made the
contribution?
Yes, the contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, that is a thing that we all owe. Doesn't matter who wants to say that nobody did. Well, if nobody did, let it go by the cemetery and ask if all those people up there alive.
Yeah.
Now, you remember in the days when Mr. Bradshaw was building that new airstrip up here, I work on it.
With Higgs and Hill?
And I could tell anybody how that was built from foundation right up top.
Okay.
And Higgs and Hill was the company that was building that airport.
Yep.
And we all know the wages of salary were way down past back and neck. And Higgs and Hill men were known as the Hess Oil Company in St. Kitts.
Okay.
With the wages that we were getting. And we were able to go every weekend. We were able to go by many different bars and shops in town. There wasn't much really. That was in the 70s, from 71 to 74.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to contribute and patronize those businesses and so. Well, now that we have the bus terminal down there with those bars, do they know how many bars will make a great profit from the mason, the workers that would have been working on the new school, the new high school that was supposed to be built up on the site that was cleared off already by the farm administration. If this administration had continued that, every bar down by the bus terminal would have made money a weekend, extra money. Because when fellas done work up there on those construction sites, they would have head down there and flock up down there, and everybody would have made something. But they abandoned that, and so therefore a lot of tradesmen are not doing anything. They're not working, nothing there. So therefore, the bars down there now, they're feeling the effects of nothing is doing with tradesmen. But anyway, I want to give somebody else a chance to come in.
Okay,
because
appreciate
I don't
that.
like to stay long on radio talk shows.
Okay, you'll call back, but here's a view. You can listen off here, right? You speak about the tradesmen, them who may not be employed at the moment because of that project not getting off the ground. But you also hear about a lot of contractors or builders. They employ most of their crew now from the non-nationals, the Spanish, the Guyanese, etc., because their work ethics seem to be more favorable. And so you find there are a number of Spanish bars that are supported not only by the locals but by those of their own, ilk. Let's take this call and see what they have to say. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Okay, we'll get them back in a minute. So yeah, these bars late in the evening, they do get a fair amount of commerce from the general population. We got a caller back. All right, but on Friday afternoons, that terminal building is where a lot of folks pull out to entertain themselves. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hey, good morning, Socrates.
Good morning, Sister Henry. How about that?
Man, you're giving God thanks to shock me.
Yes, it hit me yesterday
I have been
also.
trying, was in a one number during the week.
She passed on Sunday.
She called me to check up on me, and I would call back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I was surprised when I heard you call her name.
Yes.
You really got to prepare to meet your God, whether you believe it or not. I am surprised because her husband is bedridden.
Yes, I know.
That's why I tell people the caregiver does go before they cared for. And so you really got to watch yourself and look after yourself too as you care for other people.
Yes. We did a program.
Hello?
We did a program some time ago asking who takes care of the caregivers.
I'm telling you, because it's a habit, because it takes everything out of you, to care for somebody who is disabled.
Yes, it does.
Especially if they can't move around. Sometimes you don't even get to eat properly. You don't get to sleep properly, and sometimes you don't even get the supplements. And sometimes the worst part is that you have family members who won't even chip in.
Mm-hmm.
So the burden is on one person, which is very unfortunate. Sometimes the person have children, and everybody watching one another. And I don't know who's going to get the house. It's always who's going to get the house.
The property, that's the main concern then.
Yeah. And sometimes the surprising thing is those who do nothing are those who actually get the house will to them.
Mm-hmm. That whole family dispute.
So we got to be more considerate. And good morning to our neighbor, Francine, the blind lady.
Yes.
Yeah, they were my friends. I met Francine at the hospital. And Rosina I met on another radio station years ago on the gospel program.
Okay.
And after we became friends, she just called me. Sometimes I can't remember her number.
Very strong voice.
So my heart goes out to the rest of the family. So may God bless them. All right then.
Thank you, Sister Henry, for your contribution. I do have to go there over the weekend. Rosemary writes, sorry to hear about Miss Rosita Warner. It's actually Rosina, but I understand wishing the best to her family. I did go down there a few weeks ago and hail and hearty conversation. You never know. You never know when that might be your last interaction. Very warm. And, anyway, you having us call on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good morning, greetings.
With respect. Good morning, sir.
No, sir. My Virgin. And good morning to your listeners via radio and internet. I just like to convey condolence to the one in the DB area, and the ancestors and the Almighty God, on the graveyard, because there is life after death, so we never die. We continue living. It's just another dimension that we've gone into. Now, I have an issue I'd like to bring to your program, because now you're going into another discussion just a few minutes from now.
Go right ahead.
And this issue is pertaining to administration taking money and being wasteful with it when it comes to social development. How could you have a building that is owned by the administration but still is going out in renting other property of people who are private sectors? What kind of development are we striving on? And then you have the building them dilapidated, and then you still want to make no move to make a restructuring of these buildings so they can be used for government institutions and the service for the people. We are not really to see how we guide. He especially look at Church Street. He have a building waiting for the opposite side of government headquarters. Have been constructed under the former administration. It ain't completed. And you want to tell me this administration going and can't make sure the thing is completed to the way it's supposed to.
I didn't realize that the construction was halted, but the intention was it's a government building and they will move whatever ministry into it. You're now saying that it's not completed and they went in other properties?
Yes, that's what I said.
It's been a sad practice. Go ahead.
We have a Minister of Foreign Affairs who is the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas. Now, he is supposed to be representing the office of the Foreign Affairs Ministry. And if someone wants to have a meeting with him, we have to go up in Koi building that's in the area located by the
airport, yes.
And you want to tell me I have to recognize, go on a request to make a meeting of him to go down back in the same office where he don't want to show his service down there as a minister, but he's going to make his service up in Kai building because he deals with economical investment. We like to say, these things ain't supposed to be occurring like that. Your ministry is about serving the whole entire public, not your own self. So don't go up in a car making car building feel like it's better than what your office is supposed to be served for the people in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These people already like him more than Singers and Nevis, and to this still. He's not born between me and him. But these things are in front of our eyes happening on a daily basis. And you're telling me these are the things that say they come to change and they're still doing it. They better they don't know go in the parliament about integrity in public life because they don't break down the public life right now in front of our eyes. With the wrongdoing. And he is one who like to lead them kind of way. So he sell the Buckley land and then come in 2050 talking about the ancestors them when he don't sell the land. That's a part of our history. What kind of knowledge do people have emphasized for the younger generation? That's why I'm telling you, straight in the face, educate your labor supporters them. Because the ignorance what they got in their head, they're not ready for the social change on here. And even the parties them where we got on here, the PAM party and the PLP party, they're not ready for social change. All what the leaders are ready for is to see how the pocket full with the money that Singers and Nevis have. You better watch how you step and the way I do it now, people. Because you're going to be too long. So we say it's time now I be changing the factors that I said need to be changing in the right way. That's for the key now I want. Friends and partners there. Because those people in the private sector care about the common man and woman. I mean, fair to say that without any fear or favor. All of they care about is profit. Profit they care about. So better ready to educate your people the morning. Give thanks for the King.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Always something positive to share with our people. At this point in time, we're going to go downtown once again and, have a commercial break, give Caesar his due, and then we'll be right back.
50,000?
50,000?
$50,000? Win big with TDC. Win up to $50,000 cash in the TDC Mega Rewards Mega Raffle. To enter, you must be a Mega Rewards member or sign up to TDC Mega Rewards Loyalty Program. Shop at our TDC retail stores or online at shoptdcgroup.com to receive one entry for every $250 spent. Draws take place from July to November. Win $10,000 every month with your entry rolled over so you can win even more.
Yes, this is 50.
Terms and conditions apply.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
At 25 minutes done past the hour, we are here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9 and we are conducting another episode of Voices. The lines are open. We expect a guest shortly, but in the meantime, if you have a chance to, we have a caller line. We go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're live on Voices.
Good morning.
Good morning. How about thou?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's same as you're going to sing calypso around the country, you know, because
Me?
I say, and there are no people watching all of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. They just getting this rent in here, rent in their private sector, rent in there. They don't have a place up in to the airport. They're renting already, you know.
The Stanford building?
No, I mean not the airport. Going to the airport. You're going by the scenic railway. They have a place there rented already.
Yeah.
They bought land and thing tax in there, office in there.
That's called the Stanford building.
No, not a building.
Not that, another one?
Building, yeah.
But they have the finance.
They got land and house tax story. I don't know what happened to them. It's some people they want to hire. They can't satisfy everybody they can. And the people want to work. They get some private. The investor come in here and open up work for people. I know I hear all these silliness. So you say they're well educated. I'm agree with what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Because if renting a car, you know, mother building a car, so no wonder that tax you left, right, and center. They got so many tax them, so that dig you so hard in your head. You want to know if it's a 10 penny meal now. Yeah.
It's a practice that has been ongoing for the past X amount of years. So other administrations would have done the same thing. I don't agree with it. I don't understand the rationale. If it's a building that needs refurbishing and in the interim you rent something else. But when that building is up to standard, you go back into it because you're not paying rent for it. You own the building. But for some reason they've been renting here, there, and there, and I don't know.
Yeah, up the village, a rented thing. The welfare up here. And it's people who don't benefit big time after them already, you know. I don't know whether they must have gone donkey blowing us. Me, I'm not going to pluck on my wall, but two little flower thing a friend,
a
friend gave me. Yeah, a friend gave me them.
Mm-hmm.
Only them to pluck me, see me now, OB, GB.
You have any OB?
And me could know that. I think made you rent in a place. They never hear like you're losing money like that.
I see.
You got to pay deal. They ain't care about the taxpayers' money. They will tell themselves, man, I think she's supposed to pay 500, you know, with whatever she was paying. It was free. And I saw them going in, you know, where coming from? They ain't asking where coming from. Why the person had to pay that deal? Right, and they need to look into this thing there because we put them there to work for us, not to killing out with. You should have him got his shorts like a kiss on. Okay, I'm thanking you for telling me you see something wanted to done and you get it done. That you were supposed to be saying, not to trying to figure out well, this person really got an issue because so and so. They're making the country look so bad. Renting here, rent here, they buy this a car. The building ain't on 1 cent, you know. It's going to be a lot of money. Where they going up for carry heating in what happened to them by?
Well, they say no new taxes, so I guess they know what they're doing.
No taxes. If I tell you the taxes, I tell you, when I came into this house, it's one something I pay, you know, look, here we did 2021, I saw it's a 3 something. Last year, 3 something, so you know, that's 600.
Keeps increasing?
I don't let you know. If you let it pass, today you're supposed to month end and the month and you let tomorrow come in. Remember, it's whip over your back. We just like we say, got the cat and nine tail going on to us, in this guy. And that's what we're call in and talk about. They come in with a fancy talking and what this then. We don't want to hear that.
So you're calling the supporters Ayers claim that they should not be renting all these properties that they have to pay for when they have government buildings that they can very much utilize. That's what you're saying, right?
That's what I mean. You remember when you were younger, King, me and you, they have building here, building there. That looks so deployable to know so long. That they don't think. They say something about money never given enough away. I thought by now that would have done finish and who to move back in the move. They had a building on Kean Street, facing Greenlands. They take over people.
Yes.
Education. When you look like some going up on Factory Road, they got a place up there rent to the labor department, not the education, the answer.
Yeah.
And education.
About the Bladen development area.
Okay, same thing as again, Bladen again. When you hear Bladen, you know how high that property gonna be?
I don't know.
How costly that gonna be? And then they just figuring out. And they will kill the poor people, them man. They put us there, but we're going to bomb them with a cat and nine tail. They're just killing people, We know what we should do, the king. Anyhow, we had the next election. Let them go on, bang, 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 bang them out, and nobody go to the polling station that day.
That's not going to happen.
And if anybody do go, it's so poor that they can't even get, some of them can't even get 20
6
votes.
months before the election, the party will start. The food start to flow. The money start to go in your pocket, and we forget about what happened for the past 4.5 years. That's how it works. The psychology.
That ain't supposed to be the gone back them Bratcher days, like they say, when Bratcher Day in the Bratcher time, an election coming up, they know all the time, this place wanted a bathroom. This place wanted a bathroom. One go build it,
That's
but next week election, you see my public works man a chop, blocks of chop, this one a mix up matter.
Well, that's how it works. That's how it works.
But you still going back to them things. I think you're younger people. They come in with technology. They say it's so high. And they're so intelligent. I tell you,
We have any other callers on the line? Okay. The thing is, that's how it works. Okay. And so you could decide to take part in the process or not. But that's how it works. Just prior to the election, when they announce the party starts. Right? So in the meantime, you're going and bear it.
Again, they make me really, I was so happy. The 5th just gone, the Saturday. And I also know they make me feel sad Saturday too. What else I must say?
You mean last year this time? Saturday was the first anniversary of the Labour administration. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and then I'm almost sweetheart.
How do you rate the performance? I would have missed that program on the morning tea show. How do you rate the performance over the past 12 months?
The performance poor.
On a scale of 1 to 10, talk to me.
No, you look like I just 1 to 0.
No.
We ain't gonna lift up on people balling. Sometimes I just try to give them a little courage. Man, not take on that thing is gonna come.
Who's balling?
You know what we're going through.
Who's balling, Bunnies?
Huh?
Who's balling? You say people. Like who? Who you know balling?
Sometimes I get some kind of video on my phone.
Oh, the people who put them in.
Huh?
The people who put them in.
Yeah. Oh no, here put pussycat. Who put it in? Little Tommy Stout. Who put it out?
Little Tommy Green. Who put it in? Little Tommy Green. Who put it out? Culture. My thing is, right?
What a naughty boy was that to do that to the pussycat? They must need to come better. Going away. I never see somebody going with so fast for here. just in one term.
But they go,
Not come. You
they
say
go
the
to
big
bring
book.
programs that would benefit the country. That's why they travel. Do they not?
Where it be? For the 12 months.
I don't know. You don't get things overnight. My approach is to give any new administration a grace period. Okay? Minimum 18 months. And I was castigated by certain people. Oh, when Labour was in, you used to cuss them. And now this government, my thing is not to just jump on any administrations or to criticize them. I gave them a grace period. Good or bad, they come in and they're going to have some issues. The problem is when you promise too much and you can't deliver, the people who you promise as inducement to go to the polls, they're the ones who'll be objecting most. They're the ones making the most noise. I did not vote because I was told that the PAP will go from 500 to 1,500. I didn't vote with that expectation. So when it did not happen, it did not disappoint Socrates. You understand?
I did say it was going to 1,000, but not before you go up, you go down.
I've been asked to, when you go on the radio, say this and say that. No. You have a voice just like me. Or when you sing a calypso, I've been singing calypso for years and you didn't listen. Right? So if things don't work out this time, grin and bear it, wait till the next electoral cycle and change your vote. But you have a right to express your opinion. Huh?
We can run for remember, it look like it jumped from 5 years to every 2 years now, so they better do something,
Let me
all right. The investors are calling you at 12 o'clock at night and so, them time before you get in.
Things are happening, Bernice. It will take some time. It will take some time. But I have faith because it's all about what's best for the country. It may not happen overnight. All right? But I think things are going to turn out in general for the betterment of the country. If it doesn't happen, well, you took a leap of faith, it didn't work out. Better luck next time.
I'm going now. I like how the person said a while ago, hear what they say? The strangers, them, because the Spanish, them smarter than we, they say when they're going, they're walking with a shovel. And they know
come ready to work.
To plumb a box, But we're going with they're going with a swing with empty hand and a split in the mouth.
A split in the mouth going to work? Okay, that happens. Anyway, it's part and parcel of the whole, process, and the government would have been given a time to roll out the policies and all the different things. But when you overpromise and you raise people's expectation, and in the initial stage you cannot deliver, you're going to get some feedback, some negative feedback from the public. It's part and parcel. Any administration will have to go to that teething phase, so I don't have a problem with that. All right?
Yeah, man. We're supposed to leave it there and well, let me see. And you're in here. The breaking ground over so and so.
Yes.
And you're in here.
Yes.
The breaking down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in here. Look up in the sky. We're going to put a skyscraper soon. And next thing, talking about the skyscraper. I'm going now. Talking about the skyscraper. This is the house where he's going to put down. Put them in a 3-floor. Not getting nobody nothing because there's come a time.
You don't want a yard space?
I
see.
Yeah, put them in apartment like down the where they put down here.
On the gardens? Down the gardens?
Yes.
All right.
And up here. Let everybody get a piece of the pie. Nobody out there could get all the yard space because they still got to hold back some in case to do the food and to do well and all them kind of things.
Okay, Bernice. Here's what.
I don't get anything,
Because we've had other callers, are you with me? Because we've had other callers on the line in interim, I'll let you carry on, but we have a guest in the studios now who we have to introduce. So thank you for your contribution. And of course, before the day is over, you want to continue on. So right now, we're going to hold the calls from the public, introduce our guest, the lady of the hour, and we will take it from there. Right about now, we want to welcome to the studios. Let me go on the right page. Chris Collins, how are we doing? A rather lovely young lady walked in, and I don't think we've met. But I'm told that she is the PRO. Her name is Camilla Lawrence. Is that correct? Okay, you're going to have to get your mic up and closer to you. Beautiful. Yep. No, when is very beautiful? No, I didn't. All right. Miss Camilla Lawrence, and she's the PRO of the organizing committee, and I have here for the 50th and 45th anniversary. So you'll have to clarify that for me, right? So I've done my little please introduce yourself to your listening public, and we shall take it from there. Congrats. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Camila Lawrence. I'm no stranger to Win FM and to radio, and everybody knows me as Camla. My role today is PRO of the organizing committee for the Caribbean Netball Champions
I think you were muted before. So we have to
reintroduce myself.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
okay. Good morning, listeners. My name is Camila Lawrence. I'm no stranger to Win FM and to radio and so forth. Today, one of my many hats is PRO for the Caribbean Netball Champions Organizing Committee of 1973 and 1978.
Okay.
Now, this has been a very proud moment for me in that I wasn't around in 1973, nor 70,
Really?
nor 78, but I've read and seen the excitement that was experienced when St. Kitts won the netball championships back then. I read that there were songs, that there was even a national holiday following their arrival to St. Kitts.
Return, yes.
Yeah. So what happened then, and what is important to note, is that Nevis had its own team in 1973 and 8, and then after that we appeared as a federation. But never before have St. Kitts won. Even today, that's the only overseas netball championships that we've won. 1973 and 1978. And so this year it is fitting because it's the 50th year of these wins for the 73 and the 45th year of that win. And it is fitting to now acknowledge, aspire towards reaching that goal again, and act. And what is lovely about this is that all the players are alive and well.
Wonderful.
And Her Excellency Dame Stella Liebert, she was a member of the squad.
team.
Yes. And now she sits as our head of state. So it's quite fitting that while the ladies and officials, the players are still here, that we can celebrate what they did and give some impetus to get back there in the winning spirit, to get our names back out there again. So a week of activities have been planned for the upcoming celebration, and it starts this Sunday, August 13th to 19th. And on Sunday, the players, officials of those teams are worshiping at the Antioch Baptist Church from 9:30. So visually, this will give persons like me who didn't know some of the players an opportunity to see them, greet them, and thank them for what they did then, because women won back there in 1973 and 8 and so on. So on Sunday, we worship at the Antioch Baptist Church at 9:30. Monday, we're going to be doing Monday 14th, we're going to be doing some radio show appearances. So the players will come on
In
air.
studio and have that interaction.
Yes, and to relive some of the experiences and how being a part of that netball team shaped their existence. Because more than winning the sport, we would have picked up on life skills,
Some disciplines.
discipline, time management, and all of the team players have held senior positions throughout their careers. So we'll have that radio dialogue, different radio stations on Monday. Tuesday, now we're going to have the launch of the primary schools competition. Now, it has been a long time since netball has had.
The primary school competition?
Yes. So it means that we're having a launch. Netball is going back into the primary schools.
Resurgence.
Yes. So we're going to have a launch at Government's House, where officials from the Ministry of Sport and Youth will be present, and some of the students will be present, because come September, getting that impetus, that start, that feeling of getting back the sport.
It will be interesting to hear what our current Governor General have to say. in that because she was part of that foundation, it's part of a legacy, and she's now
she's the head
she's
of
the head
the
of
state.
state. Yes,
and that gives me so much hope for us to be able to
influence
man, you get it,
on the younger folks.
Yes.
And the aspirations. I could be like her because
Very.
she'd be speaking about the challenges along the way, what they had to go to, how they overcome and maintained
Yes.
throughout the many decades.
And so on following that, on Wednesday, the players will be involved in a community give back. They're going to look for the fan who was the loudest. They're going to look for persons who came and supported in whatever little way they can, the unsung heroes behind the scenes. And you know what is pleasing in all of this? Most of the players from the teams reside overseas, and they're now flying in and coming home to be a part of this acknowledgement. And look there, see, I get goosebumps.
I hear you.
Serious. So they're going to be on ground to live the experience, and their hope is to inspire action. They don't want it to be that they're acknowledged only for what they did, but they want to be a part of the action.
That ceremony should be very, very important and historic.
It will be. Very much so. The last time I played netball, I was in primary school, and that's more than 20 years ago. And I don't, I don't recall hearing
any program prior to that or since then.
Since then,
wow.
Yes. So I recall, and I'm going to name some of the persons on the team. Oh, Trent's mom.
Yes, Ms. Sergeant.
Yes.
I remember her.
So we're going to do that in a little while. On Thursday, there's going to be a fun sports activity at the Pam Tyson Netball Complex, which is fitting, named after an official. She's now deceased.
I remember Pam.
But she was fundamental in getting our netball at the levels it was to compete.
Regionally.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, and when sometimes I sit with the players and I hear the dialogue and they talk about their nemesis on the field and how Trinidad was bigger, but they meant that they were going to do this thing for us. The pride in that is enough to inspire us to make a change. So the fun day will give us a visual of the players. They're going to do a symbolic pass in their positions that they had. So from goal shoot, goal defense, right up to the center and so on. And members of our cabinet will also appear in some 5-on-5 matches. So if you want to see Dr. Drew.
Really?
Yeah, man. Dr. Hanley Jeffrey says he has his team.
He have a good dunking
Good.
Dr. Drew is very short.
We're going to see how it plays out. So, and then we're going to have like a fun zone. So to bring out the children, and it's all entirely free from 4:30 on Thursday afternoon.
In this month of August.
Yes, next week, Thursday. And Friday, they're going to have a nostalgic walk. I am told that after every game, whether they win, lose, or draw, they walked from Netball City down to what was the pier, now Port Zante.
Okay, the long pier and short pier for those, okay.
Yes, so they're going to do that nostalgic walk, so they're inviting persons out to see them along the route from Netball City down to
well, in these days of instant taking pictures just around the world, that should be epic.
It will be. We will have some persons streaming and so on, so you'll see it along the road. But to see all the players out walking the route that they did.
What time would this be after the game on Friday?
The games are on Thursday. But Friday, 4:30. They're going to walk from Netball City down 4th Street, just as they did, and so on. And it was important for them to walk. You know, we could have done the technology, the motorcade, and so on, but they wanted to be back into their space, into their element, because it means a lot to them.
You're actually drawing me into the point that I'm forgetting that I have to pause for a commercial break. You uploaded so much.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that, give Caesar's due and come back because you have so much to educate us about this entire process for the week of celebration. So down to Mr. Trent, and Trent Sergeant, you referred to his mom. So that's the engineer currently sitting with us in the studio. Downtown, sir.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
It's TDC for me, TDC for we. Neighbor, partner, your family. The best is yet to come, believe me. Moving forward, moving with. Hey, TDC serve the nation with the best customer experience. TDC, you are the one for we. Happy anniversary. Together we succeed. Building on strong community. Pressing on word to one destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no reaching out, we are shell down us. Blast like a star in some Galapagos. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man then. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine, for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
To our WINNMedia fans, viewers, listeners around the globe, you're logged on for another episode of Voices. And we have in the studio with us today Ms. Camilla Lawrence.
Yes.
She's the PRO of the organizing committee of the 50th and 45th anniversary of the St. Kitts Nevis netball team victory in the Caribbean Netball Championship. And she just offloaded a lot of exciting stuff about the week of activities, so I had to interrupt her. And, but there's a little thing that I learned about her from my good friend Chris Collins that I didn't know. And where's Chris Collins' contribution? He says, where is it now? Camilla is a powerful her gospel album is amazing.
No, it's a different one.
Chris Collins, you see, put me in trouble.
Yeah, she has my name.
Chris Collins this year, you put me in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Same namesake, but still positive. So we go back to your program, and you've got the mic. So continue, please.
So following the nostalgic walk, on the Saturday, there's going to be an awards ceremony and gala at Government House. Tickets are on sale, just $200. But what this does is bring the players in focus, where we celebrate their achievements. And it's going to be a great night of Thanksgiving celebration. And
on the Saturday?
On the Saturday at Government House. So that's
20th?
That's the 19th,
okay.
Right? But I want to acknowledge, because you may be saying, well, who is Camilla speaking about? So I want to name the team members from 1973, and I'm sure you're going to acknowledge or know them mostly. I am still getting to know them. So in 1973, we have May Francis. She was the captain. And Rosemary McMaster.
McMaster name I know.
Gracie Hanley. Mildred Manchester.
Manchester names I know.
Thelma Phillip Brown.
That I know.
Dame Marcella Liebert.
That definitely.
Gillian Musgrave.
Definitely.
Rosalind Ralph.
Not familiar with that.
Sonia Warner. Joan Tuckett.
Those last 2 years. I'm old enough, so long before you were born. So
yes, long before. And then the team officials, Pamela Tyson, deceased, Dolores Hobson. Everybody knows Miss Hobson. Earl Clark, deceased.
Yes.
And Alfonso Bridgewater.
Still here.
Yes. And in 1978, we had Rosemary McMaster as the captain, Althea Ryan, Heather Pennyfeather, Nadine Glassford, Jennifer Byron Nero,
Yep.
Dame Marcella Liebert,
Definitely.
Carmen Vasales, Pearl Blanchard,
Still around.
Shermel Williams, Mildred Manchester Sargent, Joan Tuckett, Brenda Jeffers. And the officials then, Pamela Tyson, Yvonne Merchant, Alfonso Bridgewater, Arthur Jeffers, Earl Clark.
With the exception of Ms. Tyson and Mr. Clark, most of the names mentioned are still very much alive.
Yes.
Some here, some overseas.
Yes.
They'll be coming in for that great reunion.
Yes, they've already begun flying in, and we have captured some of their arrivals on our Facebook page. So if you'd like to see, you look at St. Kitts Caribbean Netball Legends on Facebook, and all the information is there. A little history, we found some newspaper clippings from 1973 and so forth, so we've published some of that already on those pages.
Caribbean, St. Kitts Caribbean Netball?
Yes, St. Kitts Caribbean Netball.
Legends on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
And so there are big plans, and the players are excited. They're very youthful, very, very youthful.
I've seen Ms. Vasales and the current Governor General at Morning Times, along with a friend there, head chef, clean like mine, doing the morning walk. And
Donna.
Yes, definitely. Admiring them. If I were to ask you if you know what role Dr. Simmons played in all this, what would you tell me?
Good, very good. I've done my research.
Okay.
I found out that he was president of the Netball Association that time, and he was instrumental as an official along the team and so on. So there is some mention of him in our history, which is very fitting. And he too will be at this gala. And so we'll see all who are there. We found a host of pictures, so you'll be able to see people leaping like frogs in their netball attire then, the hairstyles from then. And
from
so
back then?
the inspiration to do it again is strong.
Same hairstyle?
I would. I would.
Some people don't have the hair anymore.
They can get those wigs if
Bridget
they want to.
Bridget still have all his hair. So that's beautiful. In terms of the ticket outlets, we have to highlight those again because people who may want to know are not here.
Yes.
That information.
So there's Juliet's Hair Salon along Central Street, unisex hair salon, or we call her Lolly by Lollipop, right there, as well as contact 663-5001 for tickets. They're $200 and they're available. Just make that call and certainly you'll get those tickets.
Before you leave, make sure you give that number again because some people hear it and it's by too fast. But the outlets for the tickets are once again
Juliet Unisex Hair Salon, that's Lollipop.
Lollipop, yeah.
Along Central Street.
Any on 4th Street? Anything on 4th Street?
No, but the number is easy to call and we are centralized in town. So 663-5001 and tickets will be available to purchase.
You are the PRO. What is the role of Miss Julia Martin?
She's behind the scenes, making sure that our communications is correct and so on.
Is that an official role behind the scenes?
We're behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, but she gets it done.
Yes,
and
she does.
So we want to thank you for inviting us.
Well, she called, and this level of content is what the program is all about, sharing, educating. So when she called, I gladly said, yes, I thought there would be 3 of you. But you're a busy person in your life, so I'm glad that you're here. I let them know before you arrived that you would do. So the folks listening, I kept the calls until now. We got about 2 minutes before they made the newscast, so we can take calls at the moment. Will you be here beyond that?
No.
You'll be gone.
Yes.
It's a hit and run.
Yes.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes now to give a quick recap. And then send out the information once again as to where the tickets can be found, what the program is, and what's in celebration of.
Okay. I also want to acknowledge some of the sponsors. We have
Please.
National Bank, First Federal Credit Union, the Republic of
Taiwan and China?
Yes. Thank you. I had a brain freeze just now. TDC Development Bank, Police Credit Union, Social Security Board, and a host of others. And we're still inviting our corporate partners to come on board and help us acknowledge what these players have done. Never before have it been done again, except to say that in 1979, we attended the World Championships. And presently, netball is ongoing right now, if you're following. Coming up, big sport again across the region, across the world. Or maybe we are getting attracted to it again.
This is a legacy issue, and we would ask our folks not to miss it, be part of it. Once again, we're listening to
Camila Lawrence,
and
PRO.
you're representing. Okay.
Yes. So thank you again, and we look forward to you joining us for the celebrations. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you can call us at 663-5001. Any history that you could add to it, we'll be grateful. Tickets as well, 663-5001, or across by Lolly Hair Salon.
And on Facebook?
And on Facebook, we are St. Kitts Caribbean Netball Legends.
Thank you. And on that note, we now have to pause to acknowledge the Win FM's Midday Newscast. Da-da-da-da-da. Take it away.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king. Please drink responsibly.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: NOAA revises 2023 Atlantic hurricane predictions. Record warm Atlantic temperatures the reason. Health Ministry issues a statement on recent discourse on EMS response. Ecuador under state of emergency following the assassination of presidential candidate. West Africans detained by immigration officials in Antigua and Barbuda. Internationally, Maui's wildfires have killed at least 55 people. The toll is expected to rise. Damage is expected to take many years and billions of dollars to rebuild, Hawaiian officials said. Now the details. Predictions for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season have changed according to meteorological experts. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's NOAA's scientists have projected an above normal level of activity in a mid-season update on August 10th. Earlier in the season, the predictions suggested a near normal level of activity, with NOAA forecasting 12 to 17 named storms. Now there is a projected 14 to 21 named storms, including tropical storms and hurricanes. NOAA predicts that about half of the newly predicted count for named storms are expected to be full-blown hurricanes, and not all storms will make landfall. There have already been 5 named storms so far for the season. NOAA has attributed the change in prediction to the current ocean and atmospheric conditions, specifically the record warm Atlantic sea surface temperatures, which are anticipated to counteract the generally inhibitive conditions of the ongoing El Niño event that caused the earlier predicted near normal level of activity for the season. Despite El Niño conditions predicted to diminish tropical activity, the experts say the effects have not manifested in the expected time frame. Thus, the expected limiting impacts on activity might be sparse for most of the remaining hurricane season. Other contributing factors include a below normal wind shear forecast, marginally below normal Atlantic trade winds, and near or above average West African monsoon season. The likelihood of an above normal Atlantic hurricane season is now 60% as opposed to the 30% predicted in May, leaving the Atlantic with a 15% chance of experiencing a below normal season. NOAA's comprehensive projections: 14 to 21 named storms with winds reaching at least 39 miles per hour, 6 to 11 of these potentially escalating to hurricane status, winds surging to 74 miles per hour or above, 2 to 5 possibly becoming major hurricanes, winds accelerating to 111 miles per hour or more. Although the prediction change has a higher activity level, NOAA notes a 70% confidence in its prediction. The Atlantic has already witnessed 5 storms of at least tropical storm strength and 1 hurricane. An average season typically generates 14 named storms, 7 of which transform into hurricanes and 3 into major hurricanes. Matthew Rosencrans, the lead hurricane forecaster at NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, says that with the expected increased activity, he recommends immediate preparations. According to a press statement from the Ministry of Health, some clarification on a situation involving the responsiveness of the Emergency Medical Services (EMS) in responding to an incident concerning a patient in Frigate Bay on August 10th. In responding to a call in Frigate Bay, an ambulance from the Joseph and France General Hospital was promptly dispatched and experienced an unforeseen technical challenge before reaching its destination. In light of this, another crew from the Mary Charles Hospital in Molineux was dispatched to Frigate Bay, and, quote, the EMS base stayed in regular contact with individuals close to the patient. This was done to ensure the patient's condition was constantly monitored and to guarantee that there was no deterioration in health status, end quote. The crew managed to transport the patient to the hospital following delays. In regional news, Ecuador under state of emergency following the assassination of presidential candidate. West Africans detained by immigration officials in Antigua and Barbuda. Those reports and more from Carib Update.
Ecuador was under a state of emergency Thursday after the assassination of a popular presidential candidate just days before an election dominated by concerns over the once peaceful country's descent into brutal violence linked to drug trafficking. Fernando Villavicencio, a 59-year-old journalist and anti-corruption crusader, was killed in a hail of machine gun fire as he left a campaign rally in the capital, Quito. President Guillermo Lasso declared a 2-month state of emergency, which will allow soldiers to patrol the streets. He had already in July declared targeted states of emergency in some towns gripped by violence. Lasso also declared 3 days of national mourning, and other presidential candidates suspended their campaigns. Lasso, who took office in 2021, called the snap election after he dissolved the opposition-dominated Congress in May to avoid an impeachment trial. He is not seeking re-election.
An Ecuadorian presidential candidate was assassinated in the capital Quito on Wednesday. Outraged protesters rallied outside the clinic where Fernando Villavicencio died after he was shot at a campaign event hours earlier. His killing comes just 10 days before Ecuador is due to head to the polls. Several other marches kicked off in other cities, including Villavicencio's hometown of Alausi. Villavicencio's sister, Patricia, says she was behind her brother when the shooting happened. She described hearing about 100 shots like lights. Local media reported some 30 shots had been fired. The Attorney General's office, meanwhile, said a suspect in the crime later died of injuries sustained in a shootout. It also said 6 people had been arrested in connection with the crime. The violence injured 9 others, including a candidate for the legislature and 2 police officers.
Este es un crimen político.
President Guillermo Lasso called the shooting, quote, a political crime, which has the character of terrorism. He declared a national state of emergency, adding that the military would mobilize to guarantee security. The country will observe 3 days of mourning, but the election will go ahead as planned, he said. Lasso has blamed rising violence on the streets and in prisons on drug cartels and other organized crime. Villavicencio, a former lawmaker and journalist, was also a staunch critic of corruption and organized crime. His party had discussions about whether to suspend campaigning due to what it called political violence. But Villavicencio opposed the move, saying it would be an act of cowardice.
Exigimos acciones.
Other presidential hopefuls reacted with horror to the murder. Some suspended their electoral campaigns and denounced the violence.
A group of West Africans, believed to be Ghanaians and Nigerians, is reportedly being detained in Antigua and Barbuda by immigration officials. According to unconfirmed reports, the Department of Immigration detained over a dozen immigrants, raising concerns over documentation discrepancies and potential visa irregularities upon their arrival in Antigua on August 5. A group came to the island on Saturday on an Air Peace flight from Nigeria, a step taken in a bid to strengthen ties and foster closer relations between the two nations. Reports suggest that about a dozen of them were held due to issues with their documents, including suspected fake passports and invalid visas. Embattled Member of Parliament in the Bahamas, Kirk Cornish, is out on US $9,000 bail after he appeared in court on rape charges against a 35-year-old woman. Cornish, 48, who on Tuesday was forced to resign as parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister, faces 2 counts of rape and 2 counts of assault and threats of death. As part of his bail condition, Cornish is required to report to the police station in Cooperstown, Abaco once per week. The matter has been adjourned to October 17 for presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment.
We now bring you these international reports.
Wildfires scorching Hawaii's Maui and Big Islands have killed dozens of people, left behind smoldering ruins, and forced thousands of residents and tourists to flee. On Friday, the state's governor called it the worst natural disaster to ever hit Hawaii. But how did these fires become so devastating? The cause of the blazes was still not clear days after they began. The fires have hit large parts of Lahaina, a beach resort city of about 13,000 people on northwestern Maui, especially hard. It sits in the relative middle of the 8 main islands that make up Hawaii's archipelago. What experts do know is that conditions were ripe for wildfires there before they sparked off on Tuesday.
Maui was in a D1, D2 severe drought for the season, and the risk for large fire potential was higher there than it was in California.
That's San Jose State University meteorology professor Craig Clements. The National Weather Service had also issued warnings for the Hawaiian Islands for high winds and dry weather, Add to that the unusually high temperatures this summer, in part due to climate change, in part due to the El Nino warming event.
So these conditions all lined up with kind of a classic fire weather situation. It just so happened that there was ignition during the high wind event, allowing a very fast spreading fire to burn into the community towards the coast.
U.S. weather officials say winds from Hurricane Dora have fanned the flames across the U.S. state, coming from hundreds of miles southwest of the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Separately, a low-pressure system to the west near Japan has also contributed to sustained high winds. These all become a serious problem when they reach Maui's very steep mountain range.
The winds were coming from the northeast, and they were very strong winds. They were descending, going up and over the mountain range and descending what we call the lee side. And when that happens, you get acceleration near the surface. And so you get actually faster winds on the downslope side or the lee side of a mountain range.
Dry vegetation is also a contributing factor. Here's Oregon State University professor Erica Fleischman. She's also the director of the Oregon Climate Change Research Institute.
You can think of it as plants being thirstier, so plants use more water when the air temperature is higher. So the water that is present tends to disappear more rapidly.
Fueling that problem, the spread of flammable, non-native grasses brought in from around the world in areas of former farmland and forest. That's created large amounts of small, easily ignited materials that increase the risk and severity of fire. But what about the next big fire? Hawaiian officials say it will take several years and billions of dollars to rebuild the damage wrought by these fires. But scientists say human-caused climate change, driven by fossil fuel use, is increasing the frequency and intensity of such extreme weather events. Fleischman, the Oregon State professor, says there are ways to limit the risks to homes and buildings, though it's not always easy or cheap.
So many structures ignite because sparks moving far in front of the fire front get into the ventilation system of the building. And there are ways to construct buildings so that the ventilation systems, it's less easy for the ventilation systems to take up sparks. You can have fire-resistant roofs. You can be doing different things with decks, with materials next to structures. So, I mean, there are possibilities for saying a wildfire is likely to happen in the future, but perhaps buildings don't burn down. Perhaps people can protect themselves better from smoke or have better alert networks, evacuation networks. I mean, all kinds of systems to say if we accept as a society that these events will happen again, how can we best protect ourselves and the things we care about from those events?
Russia launched its first moon landing spacecraft in 47 years on Friday. In doing so, it's joined the race to become the first nation to make a soft landing on the lunar South Pole. That's a region believed by scientists at NASA and other space agencies to hold coveted pockets of water ice in its shadowed craters. Rough terrain makes landing there difficult, but the prize of discovering water ice could be historic. The Russian mission is competing against India, which launched its own lunar lander last month. It's also up against China and the United States, which also have advanced exploration programs. A Soyuz 2.1 rocket carrying the Luna 25 craft blasted off from the Vostochny cosmodrome before being boosted out of Earth's orbit toward the moon over an hour later. It's expected to touch down on the moon later this month. There's much riding on this mission. The Kremlin says the West's sanctions over the Ukraine war, many of which have targeted Moscow's aerospace sector, have failed to cripple the Russian economy. But the moonshot will test the nation's growing independence in space. Its invasion of Ukraine has severed nearly all of Moscow's space ties with the West, beside its integral role on the International Space Station. The European Space Agency had planned to test its Pilot D navigation camera by attaching it to Luna 25, but also cut ties with the project after Russia invaded Ukraine. For centuries, astronomers have wondered about water on the moon, which is 100 times drier than the Sahara. Although major powers have all been probing it in recent years, no country has yet made a soft landing on the South Pole.
Well, meanwhile, new figures released today by the EU's border agency suggest that the number of people who have crossed illegally into the European Union so far this year has risen by 13%. It's 13% higher than the same period in 2022. The agency says the increase was entirely driven by the number of people who arrived after travelling across the Mediterranean, which more than doubled. Let's speak now to our reporter in Rome, Sophia Batizza. And Sophia, a rise in those crossing illegally. Why do we think that is?
Well, Frankie, it's mostly people who are coming from Egypt, from Guinea, from the Ivory Coast, who are fleeing war and are fleeing persecution and are trying to reach Europe looking for a better life. Now, what we are seeing is a new dangerous trend of using very small, low-quality metal boats. They tend to break during the journey, crossing the Mediterranean Sea from North Africa to Italy. And it's very easy for those boats to capsize. And that's exactly what happened a few days ago when a boat that was carrying 45 people on board capsized near Sicily because of a wave. And as a result, 41 people died. And that's why, according to the UN, this route, the central Mediterranean route, is by far the most dangerous migrant crossing in the world. Just to give you a number, Frankie, this year so far, more than 2,000 people disappeared in the Mediterranean Sea, try to reach Europe. Now, what Frontex predicts is that those deaths won't stop people who want to try and come to Europe. And that's because, according to Frontex, there is fierce competition between crime groups in Tunisia and in Libya. And because of that, people smugglers are offering much lower prices for people who want to make the journey to Europe. So the fear is that more people could die in the coming months trying to reach the EU, reach Europe, searching for a better life.
And Sophia, I was just speaking to Simon, who's on the coast of Dover, watching boats arriving right here in the UK this morning, one boat carrying 60 people. And I want to ask you the same question I asked him. Now, when we see places like the UK and the government putting in schemes like the Rwanda scheme or housing people on barges, is there any sign that any EU deterrents are working to try and stop and curb these numbers? Because we're just seeing numbers rising.
That's a really good question, and it's a complicated answer. What the EU has done, they've signed a deal with Tunisia last month. Of course, Tunisia has become the main departure point for people who try and reach Europe. Now, that deal pledges more than 100 million euros that will be used to crack down on people smugglers, to strengthen EU borders, and to work on policies to send migrants home. But, let's take Italy, for example. This year, so far, more than nearly 94,000 people have reached Italy by sea. And that is more than double compared to last year. And of course, the Italian government is a right-wing government that campaigned on a promise to crack down on illegal migration. But we are seeing that, those promises have not been fulfilled. So despite the risks and despite this new deal that was signed between the EU and Tunisia last month, more people keep coming every day and are reaching Europe, mostly in Sicily. So, it's a very complicated issue to solve.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: NOAA revises 2023 Atlantic hurricane predictions. Record warm Atlantic temperatures. The reason. Health Ministry issues a statement on recent discourse on EMS response. Ecuador under state of emergency following the assassination of presidential candidate. West Africans detained by immigration officials in Antigua and Barbuda. Internationally, Maui's wildfires have killed at least 55 people. The toll is expected to rise. Damage is expected to take many years and billions of dollars to rebuild, Hawaiian officials said. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribou.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
From the South, 98.9 FM.
relaxing with my baby on the coastline. Well, wasn't really into no rush, 'cause the love she gave to me, I just can't get enough. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me, my darling there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me, hold me. Remember when they said we wouldn't make it? Girl, cherish our love and don't you break it. Forget about the egos. Now she goes where I goes, loving me tenderly. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me, my darling there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me, hold me, yeah. 'Cause I believe we're meant to be, truthfully. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I believe we're meant to be, truthfully. Yeah. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me, my darling there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Baby, run, come on me. I gotta take a little time.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this. Riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And we're back in the second segment of Voices today, the 11th day of August. And we had an update a while ago, news update, and in that they mentioned that there will be an uptick. There will be an uptick in the hurricane season, so we may have some patterns that run up between 14 to 22 named hurricanes and tropical storms. So one has to be mindful that we are still in the midst of the Atlantic hurricane season and take whatever precautions necessary ahead of time. We go straight to the phone lines for this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sister Henry. How about thou?
I thought you jump ship. Are you trying to chew the dumpling them?
No. I'm here. We have some issues, but we're here. We're here. We ain't gone yet.
Oh, well, give God thanks for that. Good
Definitely.
afternoon to everybody at home and abroad. Good afternoon, Rosemary.
I'm sure
Good afternoon, my good friend Rubilette Bell and all the others, all the different disabled people. Rockcliffe wife Ethel in the hospital.
Is that so?
And all the others who are listening.
Okay.
Now, you asked a question. I was calling to try and ask that same question. I have had so many announcements about this netball team. And Dr. Kennedy Simmons, who was, as she said, the president and the medical doctor for the team, was never mentioned. You became aware of it, right?
Well, I did ask her while we were off air about his involvement. She said I have some information about, and she would highlight it, but she says she didn't mind me guiding her to that. So that is the way I phrase the question.
Yeah, 'cause I heard Earl Clark himself say it
Yes.
long time ago. It was he and Dr. Simmons
Who started it?
who look after the team.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, all kind of people name. And there was Lorna Edwards, you know.
Definitely, yes.
She was the trainer. You know, so I don't know who put the list together, and I hope we would give the politics a break. Now, you heard the news about the Nigerians in Antigua.
Yes.
I don't know, my good friend Johnny feel about it, you know.
Okay, he will call if he get a chance. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I am saying we're killing up ourselves in their interest, right? We're lobbying for them. And they seem to have the idea that because our islands are small, anything could pass.
If they come by plane, before you travel into this world, before even board the plane, they have all your data.
But they said, no, they got false passport. You know, you want to know when will it end.
I hear
and
you.
then you hear the news about getting across the Mediterranean.
Yeah, over
We
2,000
complain
passengers.
about the, what you call the Europeans, and they're killing themselves to go to them. That's a contradiction, you know. They're dying by the thousands and the hundreds and thousands trying to cross the Mediterranean
To Europe.
and the Pacific to get into these countries where they are ill-treated. Haven't they had enough? And these are not just poor people because they have to pay the traffickers a lot of money.
Yes.
And when they reach to England, they now keep putting them on boats, sending them to Rwanda. You know, I said to myself, maybe my good friend Johnny should go to Africa and educate them, because here we are striving. We want to go, but they're running. I mean, it's sickening, you know. And you can say, oh, they went from poverty. No. Those Cameroonians, as you would have heard from Dr. Drew, lawyers, teachers, you are professionals.
That's
how
true.
is Africa going to build up itself if everybody running? You know, so it bothers me. I mean, Antigua had a whole set, nearly 700. Maybe Antigua don't even know where they are. They start again. And this time the Nigerians coming. You see, what they end up doing is turning the mind of the Caribbean people towards them. And
Well,
there is, colonialism.
The
You
chap,
know what we know, you know.
the winner of the Antigua Calypso Monarch competition, Young Destroyer, his key song was We Are One. He said Antigua is part of Africa. He quoted shortcut in that. He said, according to the monarch, Antigua is part of Africa. So when you're inviting the other races and nationalities, you should not shun the Africans. And I took his point. He said, look
Yeah,
at
you
us.
shouldn't shun
We
them,
have the
but they
same
must come
group here.
legally.
We have the same group here. You're inviting
Yeah,
the
but-
Syrians, the Caucasians, the this and that, but when it comes to Africans, you're shunning
Yeah,
them.
but
So that's
listen
his
to
point.
me.
And he won the
You
competition.
must come legally.
Naturally.
There's no getting around that. The same thing for the Haitians.
The
They are entitled-
Haitians have
are
a
entitled to
harder
6
time.
months.
Their struggles are different.
Entitled to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep coming illegally, you can't even keep track. You know, so while we're making it, that's why I said the problem with our black people is that we are often unwilling to judge and chastise our people so we don't change. I was listening to a thing on my phone about Nigeria. They're talking about the medical situation. I don't know.
I'm not
Well,
up to date
as
with
part
that.
of the train, them they ship out. And I wonder how many of these who come here go back. You know, so how are they going to rebuild their country? How are they going to build back? How are they going to take possessions? And I don't know. Another one with these Haitians were talking about the troops going in. And the man said, what Haiti need to do to take at least 1,000 young people, he was talking about the resources there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Send them to study so that when they come back, they would know how to deal with the mining
Take up these
and
positions.
whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't train your people, somebody's going to come in and do it. Right now, we're advertising for somebody to do the ganja manufacturing. I have said before a long time, send young people to study how to do attachment in places where it is done.
I know of a
Otherwise,
young man who went to Toronto or Canada to do that.
well, they went to pick.
No, he didn't go to pick.
They
He went to study
nothing.
the production.
They
He
went to
didn't-
pick.
This person went to study,
So this
not to
one,
pick. Mm-hmm.
let's send more. That is my point, you know.
Not of his own
Send
volition, you know.
more.
He went of his own volition. He wasn't sent by any entity or government.
That is a wise thinking person,
Mm-hmm.
but the government also can do that. You give him scholarships. Send them where so our people can come back. Otherwise, we're going to get the two who came with Dr. Douglas don't come and take over. Or we don't have planning to come back. So I am very disappointed with the netballs. I'm proud of them, you know. I was there. And one of the stand broke down. They don't talk. What I think it was. You heard about that?
No.
Some of the
Can't say
excitement in the stand, one of them broke down. Kind of, it was wooden stand.
Mm-hmm.
One broke down.
But
You know, so give Jack his jacket. All
what
right,
she
then.
did say that they have some information on him, but she asked me could I gather two, so I mentioned him.
Well, I'm saying they should
Because-
not to ask you that. If these players deal, no, they must have known it because he was just look after them. That should have been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
If you're part of the team and this man is the doctor for the team, he's the president of the association, how could you overlook such a thing? Anyway, God is the one who will bless. Socrates, you do what you're doing here. And
Yes.
don't look for nobody to praise you or anything.
Me?
Do it from your heart.
I'm good. I'm
All right.
good. And I know you've been listening off air, but I do have. You have any caller? I've got available 2 strollers, I'm calling walkers, and one of those seats where you can put in a bath and sit and, get a good shower. Therefore, the disabled, so to speak, and 1 motorized wheelchair. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good afternoon, Socrates.
Good afternoon, sir. How about thou?
I'm doing good. Let me say good afternoon to Mrs. Henry and also Bernice, my friend, the nurse lady.
Mm-hmm.
She took me up this morning on Island Tea. So I'm going to say something for Bernice and Mrs. Henry and the rest who are listening. Now, I haven't heard what is happening with the Africans in Antigua. But let me say this to you, the king, and to the listening public. Ibrahim Touré, the new president of Niger, has said at the Russia-African Summit, my generation are asking me, how is it that Niger is so rich with resources and yet we are so poor? Now that's what he threw out to most of the African leaders that was at the Russia-Africa Summit.
Yeah.
Now that spoke volume. His generation is asking why Niger is so wealthy and yet the people are so poor. Now you and I know, the king, that France been exploiting Africa. France needs uranium to light their city, among other things. 85% of Niger resources is going to France, and 15% at least 80% of Nigerians are out of electricity. I want our people to understand this. Abraham Traore is saying that to America and France, if you want these resources, build in Niger. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, but I can see what he's saying. At the same time, the youths in Niger and Africa on a whole, because 80% of the population are the youth in Africa right now. Now, let us look at technology. Whenever someone on the continent want to develop anything towards technology, they're not being supported. That is sad. Finland took a young African just a year ago because he developed a drone. And next one developed a missile I think was in Uganda. There is a fear within our leaders, a fear the king. As if, well, we are not supposed to build our own military defense. Now, who struck that fear in us? The youths of the continent today are saying, no more. Didn't the Jewish people said no more? Or the Israelis or whoever said no more? But when are we going to say no more? Well, I think what is happening right now, because if you know that most of these military leaders in Chad, Niger, Guinea, they were trained by French and American soldiers. So what are they saying? What's the message behind what they're saying? They are saying, well, you can train my body, but you cannot train my mind. Change is coming, the king. Change is unstoppable and it is inevitable. Because as we see, America is crumbling financially and infrastructure. And as we always say, as an empire crumbles, another one will rise. This is Africa's time, the king. I mean, for the life of me, I know we down here, like Bernice was questioning me this morning as to what we have, saying that we don't have the... Bernice, what is on Africa is for you and me. The question is, right, I want you to understand this, Bernice. When I was younger growing up, I used to see pictures of Africa, even in black and white, when Curtis Mackis was giving us television in black and white. They show us where the African kids are, skin and bones with flies eating. They paint a picture that the continent is a black, poverty-stricken continent. And that is what makes us...
That's by design.
Rather going to Africa, we want to go to Europe and America. I've been there, the king. So that affected me. Because Paris, you want to go and see the Eiffel Tower. I've been there. Now, a question was asked by Island T as our gums again, that many of us who are talking have not been to Africa. We rather say, we are a set of people who say, I have been to America, I have been to Europe, and that includes me. But I would say to Island T, and I did say that to Jampe this morning, what I know now, I didn't know then. So
Understood.
Being to Europe and America, I was in California. I went to the railway museum.
Underground railway? The underground
museum,
railway.
And I see everything in America and in Europe in these museums are of Africans' work. And they are making money out of it. So when Bernice is questioning, I want Bernice to know this, the king. Everything that is skewed against Africans globally, it is by design. They paint the continent as a poverty-stricken continent, and it makes it unattractive for us. But the question we need to ask ourselves, why are they there? Now, I am calling on Prime Minister Drew and the Caribbean, Mia Motley and all of them, to support what is going on in Niger. Because here we have, they blow up the African pipeline, and they're building a pipeline from Nigeria as a salvation to Europe. And Niger is saying, no, you're not going to run this pipeline to our borders. And I support that. If they want uranium and any other resources from the continent, let them pay for it. Are we saying that we're going to isolate them? No. But enough is enough, the king. And I want Bernice to understand that what is happening today, we have a way of saying the Most High work in mysterious ways. Well, who is the Most High right now who is working? Because change is inevitable. So who is the God that is working in mysterious ways now?
Okay. Gotcha.
We are our ancestors, and our ancestors are we. The totality of life is to reprocreate, and that's the continuation of life. We are our ancestors, and our ancestors are we.
Understood, sir.
A lot
Appreciate
of
that.
people don't understand this, the king. That's why we're looking for God outside of ourselves. Thank you for hearing me.
Much appreciated. Always value your contribution. I have a WhatsApp here from someone whose opinion I value very highly, and they are weighing on the same topic. And it reads, "Good day, Socrates. No one should come here illegally. However, Africans are not the only nationalities who come here illegally or who overstay. Americans do. Europeans do. Have you ever seen the way their boats pull up into our waters with zero checks and restrictions? However, petitions only speak out in reference to Africans." Thank you. And thank you for that contribution. We go back to the phone lines. Call you live on Voices. But the caller, you live on Voices, and there's a bit of a feedback on your phone line. Please step away from...
I'm sorry about that feedback, Kingston.
Okay.
I didn't want to miss a word.
Got you covered.
Sorry about that. We humbly apologize, yeah?
Got you.
Okay, family, we hear you, family, Henry, we hear you. But hear this now, when the kitchen feel heat, all kind of conflicts are going on the continent, all kind of things. And then you're talking about poverty. The continent is poverty-stricken, but you don't know, you should know what goes on the continent, family. You don't know what goes on, how you just choose to watch one side of thing. Yeah? And then now you're talking about this legality and illegality. And Allah, how did we get here? Family, how did you get here?
Illegally.
How and your mother and your grandmother and your great grandmother and go. How did we get here?
Illegally. We were kidnapped and brought here against our will.
Talking about? But you are just scrabbling in these plantations and despising the brethren and the sisters in these plantations. You're scrabbling over. Like scrabbling like children playing marbles. Big people like you can't see the true picture. Can't see the true picture, no? Just defend.
Are you still with us?
Just defending these little plantation. I don't know. Sure. You're too small-minded, man. If you come out for them thing there, man, every brethren and musician them running from whatever conflict or whatever that they can't take no more. And then reach where them force us to come centuries ago. We don't embrace them, man. We're talking about coming it's legal. Fire burns coming illegal. Did we come in? What was legal about the human cargo transporting? What was legal about it? And I had to tell law. Because we don't forget so quick. And then embrace people who don't look like we. And people who look like we, we don't want to treat them like shit. Fire burn. Sure.
I get the passion from that last caller. As I mentioned to Sister Henry, the young man who won the Calypso Monarch competition in Antigua, Young Destroyer Jr., he actually sang a song called "We Are One." And he was lambasting the reaction to the Africans who were in Antigua and how they treated those who lost their lives leaving in those boats. And he spoke about the reaction. But you see, that has political overtones because some figure they were able to assist a certain party, etc. We go back to the phone lines for this one. We would have lost that caller. Hopefully we can call you live on Voices. Okay. We gotta be quick. Anyway, Chris Collins says to hail up Trent Sargent for him. I mean, body that. Live on Voices, caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, King. Good afternoon.
With respect. Go ahead.
How are you? Did you attend the session this morning?
I attended this morning. I also delivered, presented on the topic which I was asked to do.
There's a little murky development. I'm not privy to the content. I did not hear it from the relevant authorities, tourism that is. But I went to the airport and, well, judging from my attendance in the first day, I think the seating capacity was, they had about seating for 60.
Yes. You had a much larger turnout today. You had a much larger turnout today.
That would be so because, like for whatever engagement persons have, we're independent taxi operators, and so, I would not forfeit a tour for the day. I will choose to make, provisions for a day that I'm more relaxed, And
Yes.
so give and take that will happen. So I'm looking at a development there. I don't want to say much about it because I need to get it from the relevant authorities. But I think something was said at the airport, whereas if you were not enrolled in the program, certain things would not probably be dispensed.
Okay, let me lend some clarity to that. I know where you're going, okay? It is said that to attend the course, it's mandatory. And the persons have an issue with that. I asked a question yesterday. What if a person don't attend? Do you say, okay, if you can't attend, simply say, I can't attend because there's an issue, I am traveling, there's an illness, whatever, but you have 4 days. 4. You have 3, you had one on Wednesday, one yesterday, one today. The next is in October to accommodate those who may have traveled. So they're saying we're flexible with you. Also, we put the sessions in the mornings so that for those who want to work at the airport in the afternoons, it doesn't interfere with their jobs. So that's it. What they're saying...
I like the arrangement, what they did, though.
Right. What they're saying is a refresher course.
There are times when guys who would be dispatching and their numbers are close on the airport line, and they would reserve a number for them, which that is good.
So it was designed with the consideration of the drivers in mind. What they're saying, your decal, which you get as a seal of approval, is contingent of you attending the course. And some are saying, well, That said,
let me digress and go to the matter at hand. There is a lot of development, I think, with the same issue that was raised, and it is a hot topic, and I think other persons might have weighed in on it. I just tuned in and I heard Johnny talking about the matter in the development, in which I touched on it. But from what I gleaned, the latest development, there was a meeting in Abuja, in Nigeria, the capital of Nigeria, Abuja, from ECOWAS to chart the way forward, because I think ECOWAS in themselves, they had said some things that they have to recheck, because the legislation in Nigeria, the northern area, which is bordered with Niger, the parliamentarians did not vote for any strike, like any military action. They wanted to take the more like diplomatic route.
Mm-hmm.
And that said, yes. But as we speak, because of the solidarity with Mali and Burkina Faso and Algeria and maybe Guinea, in solidarity with Niger, and they have closed their borders. I don't know for how long they will do that. But Niger has already accused France for violating the airspace, because those guys, they have their plan A, plan B, and so. So right now they're gonna resort to plan B because they cannot afford to invade Africa no more, like how they did with Libya.
All right.
And I did said, just give you a little historic background. Niger is bordered with 8 other countries, including Libya, Algeria to the north, Chad to the east, Nigeria and Cameroon to the west, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Mali to the west. Okay, so it's all it's a landlocked country and it's there. But as we speak, the king, the United States is dropping military, weapons
As
in
we speak.
certain strategic area, hoping that, and the French, they are releasing those quote unquote Islamist guys, who they had incarcerated. And one of the things why the military action by the military is that the French was telling the government of Niger to don't go at the military guys, the insurgents, because their interest was to otherwise. Their big interest was for the pipeline to Niger.
Tunisia.
And the military was saying, like, well, how is it we are pursuing these Islamists, especially the Tuaregs. The Tuaregs and those who came in from Algeria and Libya, mainly Libya, because so many weapons was dumped in Libya that all these groups took off with a lot of ammunition. Like how they said these islands were dumping grounds for vehicles because, Japan coming out with the 2024 and they want to get space for the 2024. So they're going to want to clear out the storeroom for the 2023 and the 2022.
And on that topic, I have some information, okay? On that topic, I have some information. So when you wrap up, I'll explain what that is all about.
Yes. So this is what has happened. So the U.S., France is releasing all of those quote-unquote Islamist guys, hoping that those Islamist guys now going to do their dirty work. Because there's no way they can invade Africa anymore. We're not going to stand for it the way they did it with Libya. Because they realize the mess that they have created in Libya. Simply because Gaddafi wanted a one gold coin, a one gold currency. And we see what happened to the ECO. It was supposed to be a gold currency, for the ECOWAS, the Western African countries. One currency, and the French undermined it.
Well,
because of the CFA franc. There's a lot of things is happening, the king. A lot of things. So
Always,
you have the information. I'm going to allow you to
all right.
weigh in on that
No problem.
information.
Well, Reagan called Gaddafi the mad dog of the Middle East and just rained bomb down on his country. That's a different story. Anyway, in terms of the vehicles, you said the Japan is trying to offload on the region, but you got to get new ones. The concession that we normally enjoy on vehicles imported from Japan, no vehicle that's over 4 years will be accorded that concession. Your vehicle that you're importing, probably to assess with the taxi service, if it's over 4 years old, the concession will no longer be granted. Somebody made a point where we could get some coasters who's been 6, 8 years old, but they're not being used. They're not how to use. So anyway, the concession is only accorded to vehicles 4 years and under. We go back to the phone lines. Call 11 Voices.
Good afternoon, the King.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the program.
Yeah, I have a question to ask you.
Go right ahead.
Now, some time ago, just after August 6th last year, they were chanting a song sing by a Calypsonian. I think it's from the Windward Island, from St. Vincent.
Yes.
And when they had the parade coming out of the park, even the military band were playing, "Get rid of them, get rid of them."
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that the Calypsonian, I don't intend to sue them. Or
They came to a
sue them?
settlement. They came to a settlement.
Okay. Well, that day bring me back to when you sing your song. You said, throw out the ting before you put on the ring.
It's still applicable today.
Right, and a so-called pastor,
Mm-hmm.
before he teach the people them in the congregation from the Bible, what the Bible say about that, he chose to use your song to teach the people them because he was thirsty to sing calypso.
He was ill-advised. We had a conversation, and there were people who were backing him financially against my position. I said, I've got your debt to rights. The song is mine. I have the copyright rights to it. But he didn't quite understand that there was some political people trying to push it, and so it went up in the public.
Yeah, well,
but be good.
When you hear a lot of them touching what's happening out here in the secular world, brother, if you think them a Christian, wait till them no see collection. Man, them face all dent up with vex. Then when the darkness come down, they make some ridiculous move, and you catch them up the cane range having sex.
Here's what. We still have kids listening, okay? But registration for Calypsonians ends on the 31st of this month. So you can go to the Carnival office and register yourself for the competition. Right? But
okay.
We have kids listening, so we keep it clean. Okay. But if you really want to do the thing at the 10, go now, and I can do it for you. Get a form. We register you as a Calypsonian taking part in the, this year's Sugar Mass competition. Right?
Definitely. I'll do anything behind you.
Not behind me. You ain't doing a damn thing behind me. Not you. Anyway, we're good, okay?
Yeah, okay, man.
Right, so
Let us go in the Bible, man, and leave the secular world.
Yeah, well...
Don't take the pattern from the secular world to teach your congregation. Teach them from the Bible. That's what the Bible there for.
And the band plays on.
Okay, then.
All right. So I was saying earlier, and they call on the line, it's a good time to break for a commercial interlude. So we got on time, we'll give Caesar's due, and we'll be back, okay?
Hey, this is your boy, Super Handy Andy, with your Super Handy Andy deals at Hustle's Billing Center for the month of August. Vanity combo was $1,276. It's now only $1020.65. 9-inch kitchen sink with soap dispenser was $1488.95. Get it now for $1265.60. 4 pounds of Ramic green nuggets was $69.75. Only $59.28. 6-inch steel toe work boot was $246.16, is now $209.23. Super handy Andy deals at Hustle's Billing Center for the month of August, making home improvement easy.
Okay, we go to the phone lines, but when we get back, I'm going to say hello to Catherine up there in Toronto. In the meantime, call your live on voices.
Yes, good afternoon again. Good afternoon, my family. That's my Freeman family, eh?
Definitely.
Now, we have got to learn to be logical and rational. There is nobody who is against any African or black people. If you have a one-room house, and all your black or your whatever family show up by the door, and you cannot accommodate them, they cannot come in. We are here saying, oh, this one and that one and the other one. Countries have rules. If you don't like the rules, you protest or you ask the government to change them. In any country, you can't just jump up and go to Africa either. As much as Africa is here and there, in most countries, you got to have a visa. You have to be in good standing to go there. So I don't get the argument, how we get here. How we got here? And how they get here? These people would have been the same thing with the Santo Domingans, Oh, they're from the Caribbean, and that was the cry.
Yep.
Next thing you know, they outnumber us and we ball in. So we said, oh, well, because they're black and because they come from Africa and because our ancestors also came from there, they should just come. Just come. We are a country of law and order, so is Africa. Now, let me get to the Niger thing, see? Africa is so complex, right?
I know. It's vast. That's part of the issue.
Yes, because I hear some people saying, oh, they're supporting military coup. Military people do not give up power easily. As much as they are singing. You don't even know who they're for. You don't know who they're for. When it comes to politicians and things. Africa has suffered under both democratic government and military coup. Are the people in Mali and so any better off under military coup? These are questions we have to ask.
These wars are mainly wars of proxy. The proxy wars to the people on the ground don't even know who's going to turn.
So I don't know why we choose inside. It's like, oh, well, I back in Russia, I back in Ukraine. Eh? I back in the army in Niger. Who are they for?
And the Wagner Group.
And that's Russia.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying, oh, I'm back in Russia, in Ukraine. Darling, they're not concerned about us. None of them. And, oh, the Prime Minister, as Bernice, maybe she didn't say it well. Superpowers pay no attention to other countries that do not have the same
interest.
Military might pose a threat to the interests.
That is correct.
We do not. We do not, you know. They hear and they ignore you. You're no threat to them. And we should be paying attention to what happened to Africa. There's no question about it. But I am saying, my good friend Johnny says, the youth. It's the same youth. You know, it doesn't bother me. I don't care what they say. We said the colonials went in and take over everything. And now you come. You know the struggle. They know it better than us. You're going to take your life, and all of them are not poor. These are not the poor people are running from the war. Most of them are not. They work and they save the money to pay the people to get them across to the Mediterranean. And then they go into the countries and they treat them like dogs. They go into French and they put you in so. You go to America, you end up in New York or some kind of place like that. While if you would use your talent and your skills, you could develop Africa. We have young people here. Why not send some of them there? They have universities, you know, they could study in Africa. We are talking, but we're not doing it. Oh, we're going to talk. Talk is cheap and risky costs money. We have young people here, just like how they come here to study, so that they could get into America to get their accreditation. We are here. We have a lot of young people who just leave school. Well, I mean, I'm sorry they're kidnapping now. But if they were not kidnapping in Haiti, I said a long time to Dr. Douglas, do like the Peace Corps. We have all of these graduates that we don't want. All these young people we can't accommodate. They could look how the Cubans do go into these countries and train, teach. So we're talking, but we're not doing. We're talking and we sound good. We're sympathizing for the Africans. They're not stupid.
Okay.
I am saying again, the young people who he is expecting to change Africa, they need to understand that when you give up your right, so you leave Africa and you go to Europe, and you leave the colonials to further exploit. Who are you crying to? Who are you crying to?
Got you. But I want to read a
All right,
response to a possible response to what you would have just said. And it's from the earlier person who made a contribution via WhatsApp. It reads, good day again, Socrates. Yes, Africans are heading to Europe today. However, Europeans have been heading into Africa, disrupting African societies, distorting African economies, and destabilizing African societies for centuries, and Europeans continue to do so to this day. For example, one of many reasons that Africans are heading to Europe is that massive European and Asian fishing conglomerates have been traversing Africa's coastline, depleting Africa's fish stock, and stripping Africa's fishing industry of its formerly lucrative businesses. I can attest to this based on what I've researched. So this is actually one of the reasons why these guys now, the opportunities they're taking from them, they're trying to find other means of survival. Outsiders disrupt African societies. Africans then are forced to leave. And then those same outsiders condemn the Africans for fleeing. We go back to the phone lines. Call your 11 voices.
Yes, the king.
So.
Now, pertaining to what Mrs. Henry is harping on, right? You know, me saying change inevitable, the king, and change is unstoppable. Now, we know all that has taken place on the continent, and yes, I respect her point, but what Miss Henry failed to recognize is that the youth are demanding change because they recognize that their leaders, and I'm referring to the older presidents and leaders on the continent, they are not there to do the wishes of the people. They're not leading their people. And Mrs. Henry, fear have a lot to do with it. Because in as much as the coup in Niger is a bloodless coup, there have been coups in the continent before where our leaders was assassinated and outside influence was behind it. From Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, to John Palmer Magufuli. And right down here in Haiti with what was that Haitian president that they assassinated? Gosh, his name escaping me.
Something Molly? I forget, but go ahead.
Anyway, just a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half, like that. But, you know, this is what I'm saying. The youths are rising up because they are recognizing something is not right, something is amiss. And like Niger, and let me say this to Mrs. Henry, there is a government in place in Niger right now, presently. There's a prime minister. So to say that military leaders, military coup the people are not better off. Mr. Henry, you just can't make a statement like that dwelling in the past. That might have been the past. Today, if the president, Ibrahim Traoré, is saying that his generation is asking him, why? But surely they have to recognize something is happening. So don't keep harping on the past where military coup did not serve them because they still went in there. All of that in the past was by outside influence. France is doing havoc. France have done havoc on the continent. Now, quickly, the king, I just want to point out two names to you. Victoria Nuland, and these are Americans. I think she's a very powerful American politician. She was behind this war in Ukraine, and she has been into Niger, she has been into South Africa, trying to do the same thing that she did in Ukraine. Now, he's also a former colonel government official by the name of Douglas McGregor. Douglas McGregor was saying just recently that what is happening in Niger is that the people in Niger are saying, these were Douglas' words, and I'm just paraphrasing, you white people have to get out of our space. America, France, and all foreign military powers. These are the words of Douglas McGregor and a former colonel government official. If he's saying that the people of Niger is saying, hey, listen, you white people have to get out of our space. Why can't we? Someone made a point about illegal Europeans coming into our shores on their yachts. But who goes over there to meet them? The king? The taxi men, them. I have seen them go over to the marina, and they bring them and they go grocery shopping. Do they pay tax when they do all of that? No, I don't know. But I have seen taxi men bring them to the supermarket. They come in and they pull up their yachts over there. Some in the waters and they take the small boat and they come
They
into
do have to go
that
through
restaurant that is
customs.
right there.
They do go through customs and those authorities. They just don't pull up like that.
Well, okay, I said I don't know, but I have seen it happen.
And immigration.
All right. So I'm saying we're getting down on our African brothers in the islands. But you see, the point is that
We got about 3 minutes to go, so wrap up for me, please.
okay, sorry. Okay, the king. The thing is, right? The change that is happening is that we are waking up and we are not turning the other cheek. There's an incident that is on social media where in Montgomery where there was an attack, a feud between some white and black. And a guy swam across the river to the king. We are not turning the other cheek. We are beginning to love ourselves and them become irrelevant. Does that mean we hate them? No, we don't hate them, the king.
Okay, got you.
We are beginning to love ourselves because we know what they did to us. They divided us and they put us to hate, and to go further, we are killing ourselves and we don't even understand why.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, the king.
Thank you once again for your contribution. I've got an echo on the line here. I don't know what it's all about. Okay, it's a lot better right now. I have a contribution from Catherine Fabia up there in Canada, and I do say we have, quite a number of listeners across the various time zones, and she writes, I must say that you have passionate listeners. And she goes on to comment, that is true. People calling on the programs, and we have a very wide listener and viewership, and they make the contributions from their heart, and this is what makes this whole thing so positive. It's called Voices. And then we have a comment from Rosemary. She says, thanks, and this is to Sister Henry. She says, thanks for being considerate. So nice of Sister Henry to say hi to me. Please tell her that I am looking forward to meeting her in the near future. Okay, as always, love the show. We are happy to be of service to all the folks throughout the diaspora. Those are friends of the Federation, those who have been here, like Rosemary, like Catherine, and I can call them friends of the Federation. Thanks very much for being part of today's discourse, whether by text, direct call or not. We are now 29 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour. Once again, for those who would have listened to the midday newscast, the update on the hurricane seasons, that there are more hurricanes being designated. It's more of an active season than formerly anticipated. So be sure to take all the necessary precautions and don't wait until it's too late and then hurricanes announced like coming next week. We have enough time. That's the big difference between hurricanes and tornadoes. You have enough time to prepare, plan, and better prepare for hurricanes. With a tornado is whoops, there it is. So don't get caught off-handed. It's Friday. Fantastic Friday for many. It's Payday. It's downtown Bastards. Nice vibes, nice buzz. We want for you to be safe. Go out and party hearty, but do so with consideration for the other folks, drivers on the road, etc., etc. Monday morning, we want to hear that you're back with us. So until then, I wish you all our listeners and viewers peace, love, and a much, much brighter tomorrow. I'm out of here.
This is your boy, Super Handy Andy, with your Super Handy Andy deals at Hustle's Building Center for the month of August. 15-gallon black storage container was $127.02, is now $107.97. LED spotlight was $77.10. Get it now for $66.05.